NEC Article 760 addresses fire and smoke alarm systems. This article is crucial for understanding the requirements for these systems in residential and other buildings. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides standards for electrical safety, and Article 760 specifically focuses on the installation and wiring of fire and smoke alarms. The main objective of Article 760 is to ensure that fire and smoke alarm systems operate reliably and effectively to protect occupants. It covers various aspects such as power sources, wiring methods, circuit requirements, and equipment specifications. One key aspect of Article 760 is the requirement for a dedicated power source for fire alarm systems. This ensures that the system will continue to operate even if the main power supply is interrupted. The NEC typically requires a primary power source, such as the building's electrical system, and a secondary power source, such as batteries or a generator. The secondary power source must be capable of powering the fire alarm system for a specified period, usually at least 24 hours in standby mode, followed by a period of alarm operation. Wiring methods are also addressed in Article 760. The NEC specifies the types of wiring that can be used for fire alarm circuits and the methods for installing and protecting these wires. Fire alarm wiring must be clearly identified and separated from other electrical circuits to prevent interference or accidental disconnection. It is also important to use fire-rated cables that can withstand high temperatures in the event of a fire. Circuit requirements are another important consideration in Article 760. The NEC specifies the number of circuits required for fire alarm systems and the types of devices that can be connected to each circuit. Fire alarm circuits must be supervised, meaning that they are continuously monitored for faults such as open circuits or short circuits. If a fault is detected, the fire alarm system must generate an alarm signal. Equipment specifications are also covered in Article 760. The NEC specifies the types of fire alarm devices that can be used and the performance standards that they must meet. Fire alarm devices must be listed and approved by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, or all. This ensures that the devices have been tested and found to meet certain safety and performance requirements. The NEC also includes requirements for the location and spacing of smoke detectors. Smoke detectors must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC. They must be located in areas where they are most likely to detect a fire, such as near bedrooms and in hallways. The NEC also specifies the maximum spacing between smoke detectors to ensure adequate coverage. In addition to these general requirements, Article 760 also includes specific requirements for different types of fire alarm systems. For example, there are specific requirements for addressable fire alarm systems, which allow each device to be individually identified and monitored. There are also specific requirements for fire alarm systems that are connected to a central monitoring station. It is important to note that Article 760 is not a standalone document. It must be used in conjunction with other articles in the NEC, such as Article 300, which covers wiring methods, and Article 700, which covers emergency systems. It is also important to consult local building codes and regulations, which may have additional requirements for fire alarm systems. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to use the latest edition of the code. The NEC is developed by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA. The NFPA is a non-profit organization that develops codes and standards for fire safety. The NEC is widely adopted by state and local governments in the United States. It is also used in many other countries around the world. Understanding NEC Article 760 is essential for anyone involved in the design, installation, or maintenance of fire and smoke alarm systems. By following the requirements of Article 760, it is possible to ensure that these systems operate reliably and effectively to protect occupants from fire. The NEC is a complex document, so it is important to seek professional guidance if you have any questions or concerns. A qualified electrician or fire alarm technician can help you understand the requirements of the NEC and ensure that your fire alarm system is installed and maintained in accordance with the code. Firstly, Article 760 covers the application of these systems and components. Secondly, the purpose of these systems is to protect life and property from fire. Thirdly, it is important to follow the rules of Article 760 to ensure that fire alarm systems function properly during a fire. It also covers non-power limited fire alarm circuits, or NPLFA, power limited fire alarm circuits, or PLFA, and optical fiber cables. NPLFA circuits are those that operate at higher voltages and currents, and they are typically used for larger fire alarm systems. PLFA circuits are those that operate at low voltages and currents, and they are typically used for smaller fire alarm systems. Optical fiber cables are used to transmit signals between different parts of the fire alarm system. These cables are immune to electrical interference, and they can transmit signals over long distances. Article 760 includes specific requirements for the installation of NPLFA, PLFA, and optical fiber cables. These requirements are designed to ensure that these cables are properly protected from damage and that they do not pose a fire hazard. The article includes requirements for wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and grounding. Wiring methods refer to the way wires are installed and supported. Overcurrent protection refers to the use of circuit breakers and fuses to protect circuits from overloads and short circuits. Grounding refers to the connection of electrical circuits to the earth. Article 760 also includes requirements for the testing and maintenance of fire alarm systems. These requirements are designed to ensure that fire alarm systems are functioning properly and that they will operate reliably during a fire. The article requires that fire alarm systems be tested regularly and that any problems be corrected promptly. It also requires that fire alarm systems be maintained in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. It is important to note that Article 760 is not a complete guide to fire alarm systems. It is important to consult other resources, such as the National Fire Alarm Code, or NFPA 72, for more information. NFPA 72 provides more detailed information on the design, installation, and maintenance of fire alarm systems. It is also important to consult local building codes and regulations, which may have additional requirements for fire alarm systems. Local building codes and regulations may have more stringent requirements for fire alarm systems than the NEC or NFPA 72. It is important to be aware of these requirements and to comply with them. The NEC is a complex document, and it can be difficult to understand. If you have any questions about Article 760, it is important to consult a qualified electrician or fire alarm technician. A qualified electrician or fire alarm technician can help you understand the requirements of Article 760 and ensure that your fire alarm system is installed and maintained in accordance with the code. Fire alarm systems are an important part of building safety. By following the requirements of Article 760, it is possible to ensure that these systems operate reliably and effectively to protect occupants from fire. Article 760 requires that all fire alarm systems be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. This is to ensure that the system is installed correctly and that it will function properly. The manufacturer's instructions will provide detailed information on how to install the system, including the proper wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and grounding. Article 760 also requires that all fire alarm systems be tested after they are installed. This is to ensure that the system is functioning properly and that it will operate reliably during a fire. The testing should be performed by a qualified electrician or fire alarm technician. The technician will test all of the components of the system, including the detectors, the control panel, and the notification appliances. Article 760 also requires that all fire alarm systems be maintained on a regular basis. This is to ensure that the system continues to function properly over time. The maintenance should be performed by a qualified electrician or fire alarm technician. The technician will inspect all of the components of the system, clean them, and replace any worn or damaged parts. Article 760 also includes requirements for the location of fire alarm devices. The NEC specifies where smoke detectors, heat detectors, and other fire alarm devices must be located in a building. These requirements are designed to ensure that the devices are located in areas where they are most likely to detect a fire. For example, smoke detectors are typically required in every sleeping room, outside of each sleeping area, and on every level of a dwelling unit. Heat detectors are typically used in areas where smoke detectors are not suitable, such as in kitchens and garages. Article 760 also includes requirements for the type of wiring that can be used for fire alarm circuits. The NEC specifies that fire alarm circuits must be wired with fire-resistant cable. Fire-resistant cable is designed to withstand high temperatures and flames. This is to ensure that the fire alarm circuits will continue to function even in the event of a fire. Article 760 also includes requirements for the overcurrent protection of fire alarm circuits. The NEC specifies that fire alarm circuits must be protected by circuit breakers or fuses. Circuit breakers and fuses are designed to protect circuits from overloads and short circuits. This is to prevent the fire alarm circuits from being damaged in the event of an electrical fault. Article 760 also includes requirements for the grounding of fire alarm systems. The NEC specifies that fire alarm systems must be grounded to a suitable ground electrode. Grounding is the connection of electrical circuits to the earth. This is to provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source in the event of an electrical fault. Grounding also helps to protect people from electric shock. Article 760 is an important part of the NEC. It provides the requirements for the installation, testing, and maintenance of fire alarm systems. By following the requirements of Article 760, it is possible to ensure that fire alarm systems operate reliably and effectively to protect occupants from fire. It's important to remember that local jurisdictions may have additional requirements beyond what's outlined in NEC Article 760. Always consult local building codes and fire codes for complete compliance.